Hi, this is Debbie at Creative Crafts. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to be able to show you what I intend to make using these two pouches here, these two little bags. I was very much inspired by Louisa Heinzel, whose channel I follow, and she has made a no idea pouch journal for 2024, and she has many an idea to want to keep safe somewhere, to take forward her ideas into 2024, as do I, and I wanted to have somewhere like her to be able to take my ideas and put them into a journal, and it's a safe place to keep everything. So you put your bits and pieces in here, and then we're going to put some pages between here, and I thought I would bring you along to show you how my pouch, for my no idea pouch for 2024, will develop. So this is the beginning of it. So now, off camera, because I don't want to take too long in showing you how this comes together, if you want to know how to make this pouch in detail, please go to Louisa's channel for her No Idea pouch journal for 2024, and she'll be able to show you in detail how to make this journal. So this is my attempt and my put together following her idea. Thank you, Louisa, for inspiring me and many others. Thank you. Right, I'll be back shortly and show you how I get on decorating the fabric on these pouches. Right, I'm back. I've grunged up my pouches. I've tea stained the fabric, and I've grunged it up with a bit of coffee that I've splattered on there. I've got a bit of gold paint, acrylic paint, and white acrylic paint, and other colours that I've splattered onto there when it was wet and allowed it to bleed through. So my next stage is to make the spine. So what I need to do for that, I've cut a piece of card that is 7 centimeters across by the height of my pouches, and I've chosen some fabric to cover this in that I like with the contrast here with the grungy bits that I've made. So what I need to do now is glue this down onto my fabric, and I've got to find some glue and stick that down like so. So I'm going to glue this down. The glue I'm using is the Mod Podge matte water-based glue. So I'm going to stick this down. Like that. So I'll just push it down really hard with my fingers. Make sure it's completely stuck and won't lift off. Pushing really hard as I can, so that it is completely adhered to the fabric, like that. There we are. And now I'm going to cut it out. There we go. So I'll cut it out now. That's it. And the next thing I need to do is to mark and score rather down each side 1 centimetre in, so that those parts will then make the edges and corners, so that the sides for the joining of the pouches onto there. So I've got my 1 centimetre, whoops, I can't see, sorry, got 1 centimetre here. So I'm going to measure that exactly like that, level it with the top, and then with this particular board, I have 2 of these. One's a cutter, and this one is for scoring. So I've removed the one for cutting, so I don't grab it by mistake. So now I'm making a score line down there. I'm just going to give it another firm go. There we are. So now I'm going to turn it and do it the other way around. That's it. Firm push down with that. So that should, can you see that? So I've made 2 score lines, one there and one there, ready. So this is it. That's what it looks like so far. Okay, so this is now dry, and I have folded over at that crease point there on both sides, so that'll be ready. I'm going to use my scissors because I can't find my bone folder right now, so if you don't have a bone folder, that's absolutely fine. Just crease it nicely like that. Okay, so this will now join on to here eventually, like that, get stitched onto there. But I'm going to decorate the back part in this section here, this 5 centimetre section. But I don't have a piece of lace that exactly fits. I would like to use that. So what I've discovered in my stash, I have this piece here that I've cut the rest off at some point and used it for something else, but I'm going to attach this bit here, and I want to cut this section from there like that. I'll trim it later on to fit in here top to bottom. I'll trim that later. But I need to be able to make another side to this. I don't know that I like it going backwards and forwards like that. It's not my preference. So I think I'm going to join it like that. But again, we've got this overlap here that I'm not liking very much. So in my stash, I've also found a piece of this lace here. So I think to finish it off, it would look rather nice if I put that along the centre. So I'm just going to go to my sewing machine and attach this like that, but also I want to attach it to the cardboard, so I'll be doing that as well. Then I'll show you how I got on. Right, so I've stitched these together, and now I need to stitch this onto the spine. My concern is that it's going to move as I sew that down. So my idea is to put some glue stick onto the spine here to hold it down so it doesn't move while I sew through. So we'll see how that works, and hopefully that will just give it enough hold so that it stays straight and doesn't wiggle and wobble all over the place. So let's give that a try, see how we go. There. Right, I'm back from the sewing machine. The glue stick worked really well, so it held it firmly in place, so I was able to stitch quite nicely round. I did a first inner row of stitches and then thought that this may pull off, and I didn't want that to happen. I didn't know if the glue over time would be sufficient. So I've put a second row of stitching on the outside edge there, and I'm rather liking the fact that this has got a little bit of frilliness all the way around on those two sides. So the next thing is to trim off the excess there and there, like that. There we go. Oops, missed a bit. There we go. And so now this is ready to be attached to my little pouches that I've got here. So what I'd like to do is have these orientated so that when opened, the zip pull is at the bottom, and then this is now going to be stitched onto here. I've decided to use this side of, I took a little while to decide which I should use for my front cover, that one or this one. And I thought that it would be this one, since I want to put some things on the front here, yet to be finished and decided in my mind as to how I'd like that to be. But so I've left myself plenty of area in which to play around with some ideas. So this will be my back cover, and this will be the inside covers. So now it's time to go to the machine and firmly stitch this on to there, and the other one onto the back edge. I'll show you that when I'm done. Right, I've been to my sewing machine and attached my front and my back cover, but as I was sewing, it suddenly dawned on me that my pretty edges that I wanted to have going down here were going to get in the way as I was stitching. So I had to use some sticky tape to hold them back so that I could stitch along without catching all the edges into my stitching. So I'm just going to pull this off now. So the next stage is I'm going to give that a press with the iron. So the next thing I need to do is to sort out the pages and the signatures that are going to go into my pouch here, with in between my two pouches. So that seems to be lovely and firm. One thing that I have noticed, for some reason, this particular pouch decided that it was going to stretch a tiny bit. For me, I'm not that worried once I've got my ideas going into this book. I'm sure I won't really notice it too much, but it may be a nuisance to some that is fractionally stretched there. But when I've filled this pouch with some ideas and goodies and things like that, I'm sure that it's not going to bother me. So I'm going to give that a press, and I'm going to get my pages ready now for making my signatures to go inside. Right, I've cut a piece of card that now fits exactly between the score line that was done there and the score line that was done there previously. It's exactly that width plus the height. So in my case, that's 5 centimeters across, and the height is the height of my little pouches there. In advance, I have put an arrow that will be on the inside, and an arrow there, just to make sure that I'm absolutely sure and that it's going to be up that way. So onto this side, I now need to put some fabric. So I'm going to glue that down to there and stick it down firmly and cut it out as I did before with the other piece for the spine. So I'll just do this and then I'll come back. Also in preparation, I have got here some graph paper. This is each square is 1/2 centimetre square, and it is exactly the size of this piece of card. So it's the same height and the same width. So this is in preparation for the next stage. Okay, right, so I've got this all ready. I've glued that in and pressed it firmly. I'm now going to cut, but leave 1 centimetre out on this edge here and 1 centimetre on this edge here, because this will then be stitched down onto there. It'll be glued. The signatures will go in like this, and this will be attached with glue this side onto there, but also it will be sewn on these parts as well. So I'm going to just cut that now along here, and this side. There we are, done that. So the arrows will match when they go like that. The signatures will be stitched in here, and eventually this will get stitched in place to hold it firmly. So that's how it will be. Right, so the next thing we need to do is work out how the signatures are going to fit into this space, into here. And so using the grid, I'm going to draw onto the grid where the holes will need to be poked through so the stitching can take place. Right, the next thing is to sort out the size of the papers that are going to go into the book here. So this is an A4 sheet of paper that has been tea dyed, and I have just folded it in half, but it is too big for my book. So I have cut down the size that I would like my pages to be. So for me, I just want a little bit showing there. The width is fine for my pouches. I'm happy to have this width, but the height is incorrect. So I have measured and cut a bit off there so that it fits a little bit here, and it's about the same distance all the way around, and it's going to fit into my journal and look great in the end. So that's the size that I would like mine to be. So now to make holes into this piece of card that will house the stitching in of the signatures. Arrows upward. So this is exactly that size. This is the center line here. I've folded this in half to find the center line here, measuring the centers exactly there. So the top being there, the bottom being there. This is 4 whole squares down. This is 4 whole squares, 5 whole squares to the center, and from this point another 5, total of 10. 5 squares here, 4 squares, 4 squares. And there are going to be 9 signatures in my particular book here. And now what I need to do is to use an awl and punch these holes. I need to find something that is suitable to go underneath here so that it doesn't damage my surface. Right, I've found an old book, and I'm going to use some washi tape just to hold this down so that I can push into here without it moving at all. So I'm going to put a bit there and a bit here. There we are. And I'm also going to just, whoops, match up the arrows. Place that there. And I've got to find the end of the washi tape now because it's decided to pull off. There we are. Oops, a bit more. Okay. Oh, this isn't very good. All right, let's see if I can get hold of that. There we go. Nope, it doesn't really want to play. So I'm just going to have to make it work. Okay, so there we go. Stick that down. I'll get this one a bit from here and stick this to the bottom. Make sure it's nice and flat. Just check that this hasn't moved while I was sorting that out. There we go. Right, so now I'm going to take the cover off that. It's got a safety cover on it. Using the awl, I'm just going to poke firmly down through, all the way through the card and out the other side of the fabric down into the book underneath, pushing that as firmly as I can. So I'm going to carry on with that. Right, I've poked all the holes through here, so it's all gone through. So now I'm going to take the tape off, and there we go, get the washi tape out of the way gently. There we go. And just check to see that they, oh, I missed one there. That's why we need to check to make sure that all of them, all the holes have been poked through properly. So I'm just lining that back up there. Just do this last one. So it should be there, should be fine. Okay, so the holes all throughout, put the safety thing, little thing back on the top. So that is now ready. Check that it's all come through fine. Yeah, I can see daylight through there, so that's fine too. So ready now to sort out the signatures. Okay, I've started to fold up my A4 sheets of paper now. I've folded a few already. You probably can see there that I've got 2 different colours. This is tea dyed paper, and the splatters on here are coffee, which I've flicked with a brush as I was drying the papers, which gives it some interest. These are avocado dyed pages, so these are sort of a pinky colour, and lines on there is because I dried these in my oven, and these are the lines of the rack when they were in the oven, so it gives a little bit of interest in there. So what I'm going to do now is make up the signatures. So we've got there's going to be 9 signatures, and each signature is going to have 5 pages per signature, and I'm going to take Louisa's advice on this. If you want to have a look at her video to see exactly how she comes up with everything, then please go and have a look, but I'm going to take her advice and go by 5 pages per signature, since this particular journal is going to have writing in it more than things that are going to be stuck down, because the bulky pieces are going to go since this particular journal is going to have more writing in it rather than bulky things put in here. The bulky things will go inside the pouch, and this will be more notes and drawings and things like that in here. So yes, please go and check Louisa's video for any other specific measurements, etc. She's very good at explaining all of that. Okay, I'm going to start now to put all this into signatures and trim all of the pages to the size that I require. Then I'll come back and we'll be able to start to sew this in. Right, I'm back. I've made all the signatures here. I've pierced holes all the way through. I've just got this one to do, so I'll show you how I did that. I've put them in the pages in order, holding them firmly all together along here. I then take my template and measuring this side point here that we made previously and this one there, lining that up exactly with the top and the bottom of the signature like so, and level into that crease that has been made. Then take the awl and at the bottom of these holes where these marks are that we made previously, keeping this one without moving that, just pushing down carefully into that crease to make marks with the awl, keeping that tucked right into the bottom of there, and the last one here, checking that this hasn't moved at all. Carefully remove that. Those holes now should be in that crease, and to make sure nothing slips and slides about, I've got a clip. I'm going to clip it together so that is ready for stitching. Right, and my signatures are all organised. You need to decide which ones go where, and which ones you want at the back and the front, etc. When you've done that and organised them all, make a nice pile so that you will be able to see them like so in your finished journal. So now I'm going to go and turn my journal over this way, open it out, because I'm going to start to sew the last signature first. So this is going to be the bit, the fabric side is the bit that's going to be seen uppermost, and the arrows will be joined with that arrow there down like so eventually. So now the signatures go in. Okay, I've taken some thread. This is some butcher's twine. I've made a knot at the end, and the length of this, I've made it roughly 10 heights of the book. Right, next thing. So starting at this bottom corner, looking to marry up this first hole here, push that through. This needle that I have here is a bookbinder's needle, and it has a lovely big eye, so the thread goes through very easily. Pull this through like so. This knot will not be seen or even noticed later on. Right, so the first signature, starting at the bottom here, the bottom hole, go up, and we're just going to go up and down from one end of the signature to the other, down through this hole here. There we are, and through into the card here. So we need to line up this neck. If you can't see it, poke it through like that so you can see where that is, and then just go into the hole. Give it a good tug. There we are, and it's through. Now as we progress up, you will see that these are quite loose there, but this must be pulled tight. Not so tight that you tear your papers or anything like that, but tight so that it sits flush with your card at the back there. So up again here, through here. Find the hole there. Whoops, there we go. Line it up. It's proving to be a bit wiggly at the moment. Hold it firmly and give it a pull. There we are, and all the way through to there. Next hole. You can see this one, that's fine. Push that through, and there we go. Give that a tug and make sure that this thread is lying nice and flat. There we are. Down through here and into this next hole, just there. Oops, it's got caught. Hang on a second. There we are. Make sure it's nice and tight, nice and snug, and back through and into this other hole that is here. There we go. Find it in a minute. Nope, haven't lined it up. Hang on, I will do it in a minute. There we go, that's better. Pull that through. Okay. Make sure that's firm. Right, so that's the first signature is now in. I can remove the clip. So this is the top. Now what we need to do is the second signature from the back. So it goes over, go across here, pull this through, give it a bit of a wiggle. There we are. Whoops, it's making knots on itself. There we are, pull that through. Get these little bits out of the way. Now this has to go into the next signature. Now this denotes the top. We know that this is the top because we have our arrow here. Now we're going through this hole on the fold. There we are, line it up, make sure it's lined up with all of the pages in the signature. And we're simply going to follow what we did before, but downwards. So go through here, down through here, and we'll just keep going like that for all of the signatures, stitching them. Whoa, missed that. That's better. There we go. Whoops. Nobody will see that eventually. Pull it through. Ah, got it. Right. So this is going to take some wiggling. Make sure this lays flat. And I'm going to proceed in, out, all the way along, and then as I've done with this bit go across, I'll go across here as well. So when I've stitched in my signatures, I'll show you how I got on. Right, all the signatures are now stitched in, and all the threads are firm so that they won't wiggle about. One tip here, do make sure that this knot is substantial so it doesn't pull through, and also when we make the cast off here, make sure it is firm, not over tight but firm, so that in due course, over the time of using the journal, it doesn't wiggle loose and come apart, because that's the last thing that's needed, is for it all to fall apart in time to come. So right, just going to go over and round, make sure it's nice and tight here like that, and I'm going to take it across to do another knot just here, if I can get hold of it. Whoops. Just grab that bit. There we go. There we are, and through round there again. Trying not to catch it on those other threads there. I've got plenty of thread left over, so maybe 10 was a little much, but that doesn't matter. So now I'm going to leave a long end. Just get my scissors and trim that off, and so heaven forbid should it get loose in any way, there is some grip here that will prevent that from coming loose. Right, next thing, this is the top, and I know that this is the front and this will be the back. So onto here now. I'm just going to move this out the way because I don't want any glue to get on there. So this needs to be glued now. So I've got the glue ready, and I need to just get rid of it. There we go. I've got the glue ready, and I've cut a piece of fabric, nice and strong, piece of cotton fabric, the size of this piece of cardboard. So I'll just get those threads out of the way. Right, so this is exactly the size of this piece of cardboard. and this is going to be stuck down onto there. Okay, so here we go with the glue. So make sure there's plenty of glue and that the glue saturates all the threads, because they're going to need to become nice and firm. So absolutely nothing can wriggle them about. That's it. I'm just making it so that it just soaks in. Plenty of glue so that this just soaks in like that. There we are. Now I'm being careful not to put the glue on these flaps at the side. That doesn't need any glue onto there, because eventually that is going to be stitched down onto the cover of the book. So you'll see all that in just a moment. So keeping this nice and there we go, nice and moist with the glue, so that when the glue hardens, each fibre of these threads becomes one. Let's just get that out of the way. Here we are. Okay. Oh, let's just grab that out of the way as well. Right, there's plenty of glue there. That's it. Okay, so now I'm going to get the fabric, lay that on, line it up, and squash it all into place. There we are. I don't want it to slip. It slipped a little bit. I pulled it too hard. There we go. That's better. Realign with that. Push it down, and there we are. I can feel some of the glue coming through, but that's okay, because we're going to add more glue in just a minute to stick it into our book. So I'm just using my fingers just to push this into here, in between each of these stitches that we made, the signature stitches, just to hold this down so it doesn't move. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is bring our book into play here. So I know that this is the top, this is where the arrow, I can just faintly see it there. So I'm going to now put, don't want to drip any glue on there, just so let's just get this, a bit more glue, paint it on, nice amount, just keeping it only onto the fabric that we've now added onto the spine here to keep it nice and firm. Nice lot of glue, so it can go hard and be nice and make a very nicely nice firm spine. There we are. Okay, plenty of glue. That's it. I think that's covered everything evenly. Right then, so now positioning this into the center of here. So the cardboard that we've got inside here needs to line up excuse me, line up with this edge here. We've got the centimetre this side, remember, the 5 centimetres there and a centimetre there. It's this centre piece here that this cardboard and now this fabric needs to sit on. So I'm going to place it down, and I'm going to have to examine how this is going to go. So I'll turn it round. I hope you can see this all right. So this is, I'm pushing this into place, checking to see that the bottom part here is level and the top part there is level. I'm lifting up this little bit of fabric that is here to see that this bit here is slotting into place there. If I need to move it, oh, not too much, I need to just make sure that that is level in there and that this side the same. So I'm just double checking that to see that that is exactly as it should be. So yes, that feels nice and flush with those edges there. Okay, so now to hold that in place, I've got these clips and I'm going to clip the top and clip the bottom. So just carefully lift that. So I'm going to probably need about 4 of these clips per side. 1, 2, 3, 4. That nicely held, and here as well. That's it. Right, so while that is being held firmly, just going to open this and push down in between here. So I'm going to use, I've got the end, this is a paintbrush, so I'm going to push down here, push firmly so that the glue really sticks. So I'm going to take some time in doing this between each of the signatures, just to give it a good start to really get that in position there. So I'm going to do it this way, and then I'll turn the book and do the same again in the other way, up the other way, so it does stay firmly in place. Right, wait a minute, where's the centre? There we go. That's it. So I don't want to break the paintbrush handle, so I'm trying to keep it as flat as possible so that nothing moves. There we go. That's just, yeah, that feels actually very good. Oops. There we are. Right, I'm going to turn that around, just checking that I've got all up here pushed into place. That's it. I'm going to do that with all of them. Oops. Okay. When I've done that, I'll come back. Okay, I've pushed down in between all of the signatures now, so they're looking pretty good. So I'm liking that. Okay, so if you don't want to stitch this to your pouch covers, please trim up anything that you've got there. Lift this gently and put glue down and make sure that that is well stuck. I would like to do what Louisa did, which was to stitch the edge of here, but as you can see, it's quite frayed. And from my stash, this is a piece of lace that I have from my stash, and I'm going to attach a piece here and a piece on the other side as well, so that it neatens up those edges. I'm going to stitch that down in place. So need to cut another piece here. And a second piece. There we are. That's it. And we are going to get those in place. So before I do that, I want to leave this a while to make sure that that is not going to move while I'm playing around with this. I'm going to let that dry now, and then stitch this, and then the next thing after that is to decorate the front cover. Would you kindly like, subscribe and share, as I would like to continue doing my videos, my YouTube channel, and I would appreciate your support. Thank you.